Waffle B on the 17th side this morning, where Golden Eaglet of Nigeria is also set to jet out of the country today for Yamoussoukro, Cote d'Ivoire, where they will compete in the 2025 Waffle B on the 17 boys tournament. Coach Emmanuel Garoba's side is scheduled to depart via the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. The five-time world champions have been drawn in Group B alongside Benin Republic and Burkina Faso, while host nation Cote d'Ivoire headline Group A with Ghana, Togo, and the Niger Republic. The Eaglet will kick off their campaign against Benin Republic next Wednesday. All matches, I understand, are slated for the Stade de Louis Scientifique in Yamoussoukro. That's a natural tour facility built for the 2023 AFCON. We have the Golden Eaglet full squad list, and of course, this morning, let's run you through the full squad. The goalkeepers are Akila Hor. He plays for Melantaki FC. We also have Great Adafi of Beyond Limit, as well as Paul Awelewa of Murak FC. The defenders are Abdulatif Lasisi, Mubarak Rashid, Sadiq Soliu, Godwin Benyaga, Abdusamar Salisu, as well as Emmanuel Asika. The midfielders are Paul Ugu, Famous Mole, David Ede, Humar Yaya, and Ahmed Yusuf. The strikers, Wisdom Innocent, George Aga, Boluwatife Thompson, Salim Umar, as well as Orwal Mohammed, who plays for 36 Lions. Those are the list. Those are the names of the players who are going to be representing Nigeria as far as the Wafubi Under 17 Championship is concerned in Cote d'Ivoire. Quickly this morning, the latest is here, and this is the latest. FIFA has published its latest list of disciplinary sanctions from the 2026 World Cup qualifiers, with South Africa notably absent in spite of the ongoing concerns over the ineligibility of midfielder Teboho Mokoena. The 4-page document cited by newsmen outlines disciplinary measures against several national teams, but does not include South Africa, and of course it does not include any sanctions against them. The absence is striking, given Nigeria and Benin have both raised formal objections to South Africa's use of Mokoena in a 2-0 victory over Lesotho in March. Mokoena, remember, was first booked in the qualifying series during the 2-1 home win over the Benin Republic in November 2023. He was cautioned in the 54th minute of that game. The Mamelodi Sundowns midfielder was also booked in the 52nd minute during their 3-1 win over Zimbabwe in June 2024. He was then named in the starting lineup during the last game against Lesotho, playing 82 minutes before he was replaced by Thalante Mbata. His participation in the Group C encounter sparked calls for punishment, with critics arguing that South Africa should forfeit the 3 points and consider 3-0 technical defeat. According to FIFA World Cup qualifying rules, a player is ineligible to play a subsequent match after accumulating 2 yellow cards. But what have we seen? FIFA is saying nothing. Absolutely nothing. We wait for further directives. In the meantime, we take it to the foreign scene, where we can report this morning that Nigerian international Laino has confirmed that he has undergone successful surgery on the hamstring injury that is expected to keep him out of action for 3 months. The Nottingham Forest defender took to social media yesterday to share a video from his hospital bed. In the caption accompanying the post, the 28-year-old described the operation as the start of a recovery process that he hopes will return him to the pitch soon. I not sustained the injury during international duty with Nigeria, limping off after just 10 minutes of the Super Eagles 1-0 draw with South Africa. So bringing it back home, where Kora United officials say they remain hopeful of hosting their CAF Confederation Cup home tie against Ghana's Asante Kotoko in Ilorin, despite ongoing uncertainty over the approval of the club's Rashidi Yekini Stadium. The club's media officer Ayodeji Ismail told newsmen yesterday that renovations at the stadium are progressing very quickly and that the club is waiting for a formal inspection by the African Football Governing Body. According to Ismail, the facility has not yet been inspected by CAF, and the last assessment was conducted by Nigeria Football Federation officials about a month ago, just before the start of the domestic league season. The uncertainty over Ilorin comes as fellow Nigerian continental representatives, Remo Stars, have already secured approval to play their CAF Champions League fixtures at the MKO Abiola Stadium in Abeokuta, with the club publicly confirming the venue on social media. Kwara United, winners of the 2025 Federation Cup, are due to face Kotoko in the first preliminary round of the Confederation Cup. The two-legged tie rekindles one of West Africa's fiercest rivalries. Kotoko, two-time African champions, will host the first leg in Kumasi on the 21st of this month before the return fixture in Nigeria the following week on the 28th. 8th of this month. And the winners will advance to face Morocco's Wydad Casablanca in the next round. Away from football briefly, let's talk basketball, where reigning champions of the Nigeria Women's Basketball League MFM suffered a stunning 51-41 defeat to Dolphins Basketball Club on day 1 of the 2025 Final 8 playoffs taking place at the indoor sports hall of the National Stadium in Surulere, Lagos. The coach Ochiko Owolabi side, who have won the last 2 editions of the annual playoffs, were heavy favorites heading into the late fixture yesterday evening. And as expected, MFM were quick off the blocks in the opening quarter and made light work of their opponents, taking a commanding 16-5 lead. They continued their dominance over Dolphins in the second and third quarters as victory seemed a near formality. However, Dolphins launched a massive comeback in the fourth and final quarter as they foiled every attempt made by MFM. In other results, Royal Aces Basketball Club of Abuja led fellow FCT-based franchise Air Warriors 54-52. First Bank Basketball Club of Lagos blew apart Bayelsa Blue Waves of Yanagua 53-36. White Titans of Abuja saw off Nigeria Customs 51-47. And I understand that day 2 of the final 8, we now see Bayelsa Blue Whales take on Air Warriors. Nigeria Customs with Battle MFM. This is meant to be a blockbuster clash as both teams search for their first wins of the playoffs. Dolphins will face Titans in the third matchup of the day, while Royal Aces will go head-to-head with First Bank. And the big question is, who are you rooting for? But let's confirm again that national record holder Ezekiel Nathaniel says he is unmoved by the presence of reigning champion and world record holder Carsten Warholm, Ray Benjamin, and former champion Alice Dos Santos, who have been dubbed the Big Three at the men's 400 meters hurdles at the 2025 World Athletics Championships in Tokyo. Nathaniel said this in an interview with Newsmen. Nathaniel, who is coming off the back of an impressive season and has been touted as one of the stars to keep an eye on in the event, the Nigerian will compete in the second semi-final today with the likelihood of meeting the Big Three in the final. Well, wishing him a successful outing. Let's go straight to the UEFA Champions League. What happened last night? 2 goals in the second half by Gabriel Martinelli and Leandro Trossard were enough to give Arsenal 3 points against Spanish side Athletic Bilbao. And at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Thomas Frank's men were gifted a 1-0 victory over Villarreal after goalkeeper Luis Junior Spiel Lucas Bergvall's 4th-minute cross into his own net. In Madrid, Kylian Mbappe scored twice from the penalty spot to hand Real a 2-1 comeback win against Marseille. Timothy Weah had given the French side a shock 22nd-minute lead after pouncing on Mason Greenwood's assist. But in Turin, Juventus and Borussia Dortmund delivered the night's most spectacular contest, with all 8 goals arriving in the second half. Karim Adeyemi and Felix Imecha struck for Dortmund, while teenager Kenan Yildiz and Dujan Lajovic responded for the host. The biggest shock came in Eindhoven, where Belgian newcomers Younes Saint-Gilloise defeated Dutch champions PSV 3-1 on the Champions League group stage debut. Promise David opened the scoring from the spot, and now 8 El Hadji had doubled the advantage before the break, and Kevin McAllister added a third late on to seal the famous victory. Of course, we could talk about the Champions League. Let's talk about today's fixtures. We're going to see so many games again tonight in the UEFA Champions League. Olympiacos will face Pafos by 5:45 p.m. Slavia Prague against Bodo Glimt 5:45 p.m. And by 8 p.m., a couple of games, 4 of them will be played. Bayern Munich will host Chelsea. PSG will face Atalanta. Big games. Ajax against Inter Milan and Liverpool against Atletico Madrid. These are big games coming up tonight. Let's tell you that Atletico Madrid manager Diego Simeone insists Atletico can defy a mounting injury crisis to shock extraordinary Liverpool in the Champions League opener tonight. Of course, Simeone is without 5 key players for the trip to Anfield, including former Manchester City striker Julian Alvarez. Liverpool boss Arne Slot has confirmed that Alexander Isak is available to make his debut in the Rest Champions League opener against Atletico, but the striker will not play the full match. Yes. Liverpool captain Virgil van Dijk believes Isak, who scored 54 times in 86 Premier League appearances for Newcastle, is the complete striker. Is he? Let's confirm that Atalanta coach Ivan Juric has left Ademola Lookman out of his squad for their Champions League group phase opening game against reigning champions PSG today. What is happening to Ademola Lookman? He's been dropped from the first 3 Serie A games of the season, as the 4-time Lookman is absent from EEDRIS plans after his failed attempt to leave the club over the summer. Let's see how it goes. And of course, lastly this morning, Brentford progressed to the 4th round of the Carabao Cup, courtesy of a 4-2 penalty shootout win over Aston Villa, following a 1-0 draw after 90 minutes. So they say, when is the Carabao Cup 4th round draw? But before we even get to talk about that, remember, not only Brentford and Aston Villa's game were played yesterday. Sheffield Wednesday lost to Grimsby Town 1-0. Crystal Palace got the better of Millwall 4-2 on penalties. And today, Swansea will play Nottingham Forest. That's how it is. That's how it will go. And for the draw of the 4th round of the Carabao Cup, the draw for the 4th round will take place on Wednesday, the 24th of September, following the conclusion of the 3rd round tie between Port Vale and Arsenal. Here I come this morning. Thank you so much for being part of our show, and very many thanks to my producer Babatunde Tiamiyu. I am EEDRIS Abela. Good morning. Have a fun-filled Wednesday. Bye-bye.